Хочу прочитати один вірш на українській мові про війну. Хіба можна таке пробачити? Ви забрали у мене хату. Вже ніколи не усміхатимусь, бо немає і мами, і тата. Хіба можна таке пробачити? Ваші танки, ракети, міни. Вже немає у мене братика. Він слухняним був та загинув. Хіба можна таке пробачити? У підвалі живі та мертві. От, хоч би хлібчика, хоч окрайчика і водички, та ще би й цукерку. Хіба можна таке пробачити? Я ж маленька і ще дитина, та дорослою зразу стала. Ворог нищить мою країну. Я все ж виживу, постараюся. Сонця промінь ясний побачу. Закарбую навічно в пам'яті і ніколи вас не пробачу. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
У скорботі за тими, хто втратив життя, за родинами, які були розлучені, і за громадами, які назавжди змінились через 3 роки війни в Україні. 3 роки страждань, стійкості та непохитної мужності. Ми стоїмо разом, щоб вшанувати пам'ять загиблих і підтримати тих, хто продовжує терпіти неймовірні випробовування. Ми визнаємо силу українського народу, тих, хто боронить свою землю, тих, хто був змушений тікати, і тих, хто попри все не здається. Їхня відвага надихає нас, і їхній біль спонукує до дій. Коли ми запалюємо наші ліхтарки у темряві, нехай вони стануть символами надії. Надії на мир, на справедливість, на майбутність без насильства. І нехай вони також будуть закликом до всього світу, щоб ми не відвертались, щоб ми продовжували стояти разом і щоб ми невтомно прагнули припиненням цієї війни. Нехай наші голоси злються з мільйонами іншими по всьому світі, вимагаючи мир. Нехай наша присутність тут сьогодні стане нагадуванням, що Україна не забута. І нехай ми ніколи не втратимо віру в людяність, яка нас об'єднує. Слава Україні!
Слава!
Tonight we gather in solemn remembrance of the lives, the families torn apart, and the communities forever changed by 3 years of war in Ukraine. Those years of suffering, resilience, and unwavering courage. For 3 years. We stand together to honor those who have perished and those who continue to endure unimaginable hardship. We recognize the strength of the Ukrainian people, those who defended their homeland, those who have been forced to flee, and those who persist despite devastation. Their courage inspires us, and their pain moves us into action. As we hold our lights against the darkness, let them serve as symbols of hope. Hope for peace, hope for justice, and hope for a future free from violence. Let them also be a call to the world that we must not turn away, that we must continue to stand in solidarity, and that we must strive for an end to this war. May our voices join with millions around the globe in demanding peace. May our presence here tonight remind the world that Ukraine is not forgotten, and may we never lose sight of the humanity that binds us all. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
Тепер послухаємо поезію, написав ірландець Paul Dillon про нашу Україну. And now there'll be a poem written by an Irish poet called Paul Dillon about the war in Ukraine. It's called Colours of Courage.
Colours of Courage. The colours blue and yellow will never be the same. They are become the colours of courage, the colours of Ukraine. And what then of our colours in the teeth of this merciless war, when Holodomor, created by Stalin, is recreated by Putin once more? The front line of this butcher's battle has shifted to where we each sit. Hear Zed rumble past our windows. Try standing in front of it. That's what they do in Ukraine, and they do it for you and for me. They fight and they die under a rocket-filled sky, and they do it so we can be free. I call on Holy Theotokos, O Digitria showing the way, to bring from her ruins in Mariupol her children buried under black clay. I do not fear this enemy, myrmidons, each one and all. I do fear that for want of true courage, timid leaders may be late to the call. Slava Ukraini.
When you clean your weapon, a poem written by Borys Homeniuk, front line in Ukraine. When you clean your weapon, that is the name of the poem. When time and again you clean your weapon, when you rub strong smelling oils into your weapon and shield it from the rain with your body, and remember that you are only 19 with no baby, no wife, your weapon becomes your only king. You and the weapon are one. When you dig a trench, when you dig trench after trench, when you dig this precious, this hateful earth by handful, every other handful reaches your soul. You grind the earth between your teeth. You climb into the earth like into your mother's womb. You are warm and snug. You have never felt this close to anyone before. You and the earth are one. When you shoot, even when it's night and you don't see the enemy's face, even when night hides the enemy from you and you from the enemy, you smell like gunpowder. Your hands, face, hair, clothing, shoes, no matter how much you wash, you smell of gunpowder. The smell of war, you smell of war. You and the war are one.
I'm going to read a letter now by a Ukrainian soldier written from the front lines at the start of the war. His name's Nazar Rozlutskyy. He's a historian and writer, and like many other Ukrainians of completely peaceful professions, has found himself on the battlefield under harsh Russian military shelling. He explains why he cannot lay down his arms and conveys his message to those who have great opportunities to help Ukraine defend itself. He writes, I am not a military man. I never wanted to be a military man. I am a candidate of the historical sciences, a researcher, a museum worker, and a bit of a writer. I have to devote time to researching history, writing scientific and popular science works, and also art books, because I like it and even get it. But lately I've been a military man because there is a war in my country. Every day we engage in artillery duels in which one successful strike by an enemy will turn us into mince. We sleep in the cargo beds on top of the boxes in unbelievable narrowness, and we take a warm shower once a month. When it's raining, we're wet. When we're in a swamp, we're as dirty as hell, and again take a shower once a month. And there is no guarantee that we will have such an opportunity the next month. And when it's cold, my brothers in arms froze off their fingers. We eat only when we have a minute to spare and when it's time to eat, or when we have an appetite. We sleep so irregularly that I don't know if I will ever be able to return to my standard schedule from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. At the same time, we are a priority target for the enemy, and they can try to wipe us out in different ways at any moment. Every day we enter into artillery duels in which one successful arrival of an enemy shell will turn us into minced meat. Thousands of historians, writers, accountants, bankers, IT specialists, teachers, designers, and representatives of other completely peaceful professions in Ukraine have found themselves in these conditions, if not in more drastic ones. They are being killed by 152mm artillery and Tochka-U missile launchers, bullets, VOGs, clusters and phosphorus ammunition flies at them. Some of them have already died, and some will never return to their profession because they have burned out. But they all continue to fight because Ukraine is behind them. Because if they lie down their arms, their parents will be killed, their wives and daughters will be raped, and their homes will be destroyed or confiscated. And when politicians from France, Italy, Germany, and other countries offer us to lay down our arms, agree to lose territories, provide Russia with some security guarantees, what an absurdity. Russia does not need any security guarantees. It's Russia's neighbours who need guarantees against them and their threats. Then I feel anger and deep disgust. I loathe those worthless people who, because of their prejudices or because of Putin's dirty money, are ready to condemn my country to occupation, to a slow and painful death. I feel disgusted and angry at those who have opportunities to help overcome the crisis, but instead seek consciously or unconsciously to deepen it, because even the complete capitulation of Ukraine will not solve the problem of global security. On the contrary, it will push Russia into new conquests. We do not need offers of surrender to surrender. If you are not ready to fight with us against a rabid enemy, then help us with weapons, money, sanctions. We need a lot to defeat Russia and thus drastically reduce the global crisis. But we have the main thing, motivation. We have historians who are ready to sleep on top of boxes, 5 people in 2 sleeping places, and need the mud for weeks without being able to shower. We have accountants who are ready to eat only porridge with stew for months. We have young students who spend the best years risking their lives, and they will not go anywhere unless they are all killed. With your consent, Ukraine will fight to victory as long as she can resist. And what will you do? Sincerely, Nazar Rozlutskyy.
Слава Україні! Слава Україні! Слава Україні!